people. That's right. Welcome in. The voice is starting to come back a little bit, but it was a long college show in the postgame. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. 2-8. Notre Dame is right on track. Accomplished their mission in a, let's just say, interesting day. And I do mean day, full day down in Raleigh, North Carolina against NC State. Welcome in, welcome back, everybody. Obviously, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps old Johnny out as well. Notifications on, that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar, always Irish rat. Always Irish ink, except I am still suspended for having an argument with an Ohio State fan where some commonly used football slang was taken the wrong way by Twitter's moderation team, apparently. So I'm still in jail, but I'll be back. Subscribe anyways. Emails. alwaysIrishND@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. Call-in lines. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny, oh, you are insane, baby. Call-in lines are popping. I got to tell you guys, it means the world to me that this call-in setup is taken off. When I decided to try this, I didn't know if people would like it or if they wanted to hear other people talk, or I didn't know if I'm not the coolest guy in the world, but I might be entertaining if maybe people are going to say, we only just want to see John yell. We don't care what other people think. This is growing because of you guys, not me. It's growing because of you guys, your interest. You putting the number in your phone, calling it, giving me your opinion, waiting patiently on hold, donating in the chats. It all helps. It all helps. None of this happens without you guys. So I am thrilled that you like the call in right after the game. And it's a beautiful thing. So the post-game show, we had the biggest numbers we've ever had. For one, everything was good. Love it. Instagram, Facebook, always Irish Ink. USA Today Fighting, Irish Wire. Every day of your life, read all about Notre Dame football. Even in the summer, even on a bye, it don't matter. We're there every day for you. We're there every day for you. So let's get into this game. What an interesting dynamic. What an interesting dynamic. You knew they're a tough defense. You knew they're physical. You knew their crowd would be into it. You knew they were going to come ready to play. You knew this was their Super Bowl. You knew this meant the world to them. You know, if you're a Notre Dame fan or a Notre Dame player, Notre Dame coach, whatever it is, you knew the reality of this game. You knew they were going to throw the kitchen sink at you. And you just needed to find a way to rise above it, overcome it, and get back on that damn plane with the W in the column. The reality is, when you look at the teams before Ohio State, this was the test. This was the test. The physical test. The one against real decent athletes. All of that. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We marshaled and Stanford ourselves at home last year. I'm not counting out Central Michigan. Objectively, everybody knows what I mean when I say, when you look at all the opponents before Ohio State, one of them stands out, and it ain't Central. Notre Dame needed to do anything they needed to do to be able to get on that plane 3-0. They did that, damn it. They did it. Now, was it pristine? No. Were we perfect? No. Were we doing everything right? No. Was everything going our way and we're just killing it? No. That's not what this was. But this is a good job. This is a good job. You know why? Because if you can make mistakes, not be so sharp, have silly penalty, like whatever. Struggle a little bit in the running game at time. If you could struggle in those areas and end up with a 45-24 score in a hostile road environment where it's their fans and players' Super Bowl, and you have a hurricane, and the game gets disrupted, and it's weird outside, the conditions, it's wet, all of this. Everything that got built into that. Notre Dame didn't play their best, and they beat this team that's going to give people trouble all year defensively, 45-24. That's a good day. That's a good day. My blood pressure won't reflect that. My hairline won't reflect that because I was frustrated for many, many, many hours of this adventure. But Notre Dame did the trick. They did what they needed to do. I was saying on the postgame show, look at how far we've come. Where were we at a year ago on these postgame shows? Mad because we were 0-2, lost to Marshall, and will Freeman ever win a game? A year makes a big difference. Notre Dame, this makes me awkward to say. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So far, Notre Dame's season is actually going to plan. Meaning, you're a fan and you look at the schedule and you go, here's what we need to do to navigate it in this stretch and do this and consider that. We do that every offseason looking at that upcoming schedule. So far, Notre Dame's doing it. They're undefeated. None of the games have been that close. Now, are there things we would have liked to see go a little differently? Yes. Nobody's acting like Notre Dame's a perfect team. Nobody's acting like Notre Dame has the most talent in the country. We're not. We're not acting like that. But you know what you need to do then? Work on the stuff you need to work on. Maximize the output of the stuff you are good at and win games. We did that. We did that. Would I like to see bigger, wide open running lanes, especially early in the game? Yeah, you're damn right. Would I like to see more wide receivers wide open, getting space, mossing people? Hell yeah. But Notre Dame's not quite there yet in those areas. I'm telling you, man, if you're going to nitpick and complain about stuff in this game, that is beautiful. It is beautiful. I love nitpicking Notre Dame in a 45-24 big road win. Love it. Absolutely love that. So the overall takeaway here, first and foremost, is Notre Dame's right on track. All last week we talked about this game being the key that builds that bridge and that momentum and that undefeated ramp into Ohio State. You had to have this game. I don't care whether you look like you're winning the Super Bowl in it and you're perfect or you struggle. You had to have this win. You 100% had to have it. It wasn't that fun for a lot of it. It wasn't that relaxing. Wasn't that perfect, but you did it. You did it. And you know what that takes? Good teams and good coaches and good player leadership overcome those moments of adversity. When a play needed to be made to dictate the momentum arrow, take Estime's run right out of the break. I was thinking, unnatural break, you're back in the locker room. Both staffs have a time to analyze everything they could want and figure out what they wanted it to adjust and come out and attack after that rain delay. And I was on Twitter saying, this is a key moment of the game momentum-wise. Who's going to come out with the best adjustments and then execute it? Play 1. 80-yard touchdown. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's wonderful. Pushing it before the half again with a minute left. Wonderful. Like, it wasn't perfect, but Notre Dame did rise to the ultimate occasion when they needed to put this away and build a margin. Timely turnovers. So, man, do I wish the wide receivers were Ohio State's? Yeah, I kind of do. But we're not there yet. You need to win while you keep building on those things. So, man, we could complain about stuff. The refs, first and foremost, just a total joke. Just an ACC laugher. Just a total joke. Total joke. Like, I get it. We jump off sides, throw the flag, like, whatever. That makes sense. There's nothing you can do about that. But the one where Mills barely his pinky hit the quarterback in the helmet. Oh, 15, unnecessary roughness. Give me a damn break. Unnecessary roughness. Are you out of your mind? So the officiating was terrible. The weather was largely terrible. Their crowd was fired up and into it. Notre Dame overcame it. In those critical moments, Notre Dame won those moments. I bet you Freeman's going to feel pretty damn good on that flight home. This was not an easy day to coach through and play through. Just a unnatural string of circumstances. This was not a normal situation. And a lot of times in the past years, we've seen things, once a little crack happens, something dumb happens, maybe the Hartman fumble or whatever, and it snowballs. And the momentum snowballs away from Notre Dame, and it just goes downhill off the cliff. We're dead. That didn't happen today. That didn't happen. Okay? So, yeah, Notre Dame's not a finished product. But I don't know what else you could really ask for in this moment. Like, they got out of there with the win, and it wasn't particularly close. All right, let's look at some stats. I want to go over a little bit of this. Kind of interesting to me. Here's number one. It did not feel to me throughout most of this game like we gained just under 300 yards passing and 170 rushing. And the 170 rushing is minus 27 off Hartman getting sacked. So, man, I don't know whether that's good or bad, but it just didn't feel to me that Notre Dame amassed that amount of yardage. I know there was an 80-yard run and all that, but it just didn't feel like that to me. So I'm not sure whether that's good or bad, but those stats overall were a little more robust than I thought they'd be. NC State rushing 84 yards, a long of 13. That's a good day for your run defense. 84 yards, a high of 13, 2.8 average. Passing the ball, Armstrong, 22 of 47, 260, 5.5 yards per completion, 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. And that is probably the difference in the ball game. Hartman, 15 of 24, 286, 12 average per, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Not his cleanest day. He may be a little sore on that flight home, but he fought through it, got the job done against a team that has historically played him very physically and tough. And depending on what year you look at, got the best of him in some of those affairs. It is a little interesting. Look at Notre Dame's receiving. I don't know if I love it if the tight end not named Mayer is the leading receiver. So we could debate whether that's good or bad. If it's Mayer, then fine. But Holden stays 4 for 115, almost 30-yard average, 2 TDs. Have yourself a day, son. Have yourself a day. Not Evan's best day, but when Reardon gets back, that group's going to take another jump up. Another jump up. And then you had Tyree with 2, Greathouse with 3, the beautiful, just a gorgeous window in that touchdown pass from Hartman to Greathouse across the end zone. Just that window, that's an NFL type throw. And I said this on the postgame show too, and I'm going to repeat it now. I hope, no matter what ends up happening with Notre Dame overall this year, whatever, playoff, no playoff, whatever. One thing I want Notre Dame fans to make sure to take note of, at least this year, showing you what real life quarterback looks like at Notre Dame. We have gone so many years without that. And for the younger fan base in their 20s, all they know is Brian Kelly's nonsense. They have no concept of anything before that or what it looks like when a Notre Dame offense has a good quarterback. I'm just glad that's getting out into the ether now. Out into the ether. Oh, let me look at this. Let's go to the defensive stuff. Harper, man, it's kind of good to see that guy getting involved. 7 tackles, 2 passes defended. Where else did I want to go to? You had that. What else was I looking for? And you know what else? Yeah, the interceptions. DJ Brown. You know what? Really good for X Watts. Really good day for him. And I'm especially glad to see a guy that was a receiver get that interception and be like, damn it, yeah, I got hands. I can catch the ball. I like that. And then Morrison dropped one, but then he made a great play on the other one. He dropped that first one. And then he made that one. And it's just, again, this is such a Notre Dame thing. I want to punch myself in the face for saying I hate how exciting it is to me to see Notre Dame secondary players turn around and see where the ball's coming and make a play on it. For too many decades, we didn't have that. And that scar tissue lives in my mind forever. 4th and 9 against Bush Push. 2011 at the Big House. Like, you name it, man. I got that scar tissue of Notre Dame guys back there not turning around to make a play on a damn ball. Good job. Good job. Here's something else I wanted to mention. And this didn't end up being a big deal today, but it's going to be eventually. Our kicker has a massive leg. A massive leg. Like, I get it. He clanked that one. But you guys, that kick had the distance to be like 65 or 70 yards. It was on where that ball hit the upright. It was like near the upper third of it, past the halfway point. That kid's got a huge leg. That could be a key factor for Notre Dame later. Aside from just kicking it in the end zone when you don't want him to bring it out on a return. But that field goal, having that range, that's a big deal. He's got to make them. But I just like seeing that range he's got in him. Man, that's a big leg. That's a big leg. Let me go back to this. Yeah, I know that's what you wanted to do. Go back to just looking at my pretty face. Yeah, I know, right? So I realize there are things to nitpick here. Would I feel better if the O-line was just blowing holes wide open and left and right? Yeah, I would. Would I feel better if we had 1 or 2, 1 and 1A receivers to count on? Yeah. Notre Dame doesn't have that right now. You got to keep working towards that wide receiver thing and getting more rhythm with the O-line and all that. You got to work on those things while you are winning, maximizing the other stuff you are pretty good at. and you know you can rely on. And one of those is you got a damn good quarterback. You got a damn good quarterback. Things weren't the easiest for him today. You got a good quarterback. And that changes everything. Changes everything. And so we could debate moving forward till the next game. We could debate how many of the things you didn't love about Notre Dame today were weather, weird conditions, a tough opponent, that it's their Super Bowl and it ain't yours, and they're good on defense. How much of it is that versus how much of it is our deficiencies? That's where I think a lot of the conversation this next week is going to be. How much of that was expected because of what NC State presents, and how much of it is Notre Dame's deficient in these areas? I suspect the reality is probably a blend of both, just like anything else. It's probably a blend of both, where they are really good defense, going to give a lot of people trouble, and Notre Dame didn't quite play an A game. Did quite play an A game. But if you're in a scenario where Notre Dame cannot play their A game, go into this environment and walk away 45-24, Notre Dame fans got to take it. You got to take that with a smile and watch the other games with the beer in your hand. Like, knock on wood, things are going according to plan. Notre Dame's undefeated, very winnable game next week at home. And then the media frenzy for this Ohio State game begins. No letdowns next week. Work on what you want to work on. Get that win. And then we crank up the frenzy that's going to lead into Ohio State. So I'm excited. Stressful times. I went from a 4-head to a 6-head during the game. All right, my hair's falling out backwards. But it's worth it to see Notre Dame win 45-24. I want to know what you guys think. What did you like? What did you not like? Does this move the needle in your confidence for the Ohio State game or no? What do you need to see Notre Dame to improve on against Central? I want to know all that. Let's have ourselves a good next week, building into the Always Irish tailgate game. And then it gets super real after that. Have a good one, everybody.